All right, let's try this again. I tried streaming just a couple minutes ago, but then my wife called and I figured out I should probably answer that. Hey, welcome to the MBLEx test prep live stream. This is something I do once in a while, not every day, unfortunately. Although I really probably could do it every day. Just not sure how many people would actually tune in if I do it every day. Different surroundings. You may notice I did sell my house and we have moved, so now we are in a new place. So maybe better lighting. So that's always important. All right, let's see what happens if I like this. Right there. Ooh. Not good for the camera. All right, so before we begin, really quick, I do have a study guide available. MBLEx Test Prep Comprehensive Study Guide and Workbook 2018 edition. This is the best study guide available, the best guide you can find anywhere. And look at all this fun stuff. All this fun stuff. So you can find that on Amazon.com, on my website, MBLExTestPrep.com. I also have another guide that has 10 MBLEx practice tests and pre-made flashcards that all you have to do is cut out. That's also available on my website, MBLExTestPrep.com or Amazon.com. And my other guide, Kinesiology Made Easy, a quick guide to musculoskeletal anatomy. You can find that on Amazon.com or my website, MBLExTestPrep.com. So, how this kind of works, I say this every time we do this. You never know when you have new viewers. I'm here to basically answer questions about the MBLEx, any questions you may have, so make sure you send me some questions or something. We can interact, just you and me. This will not be a very long live stream today. My laptop battery is at 20%, so not a lot of time I've got, but and I don't know where my cord is, so something I should really find. But I am here to help you, so if you have any questions about the MBLEx, just let me know. Oh, really quick, I do have a podcast now. So check out, go to iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, etc. SoundCloud is where everything is hosted on. Search for MBLEx Test Prep Podcast, and you will find my podcast where I talk about lots of different kinds of stuff. I do a question of the week where I give you a test question, and then we break down the test question and try to figure out the answer together, and really talk about the strategies you can use to help you figure out test questions. So definitely check that out. Completely free. Each episode is I think the longest one I've done is like 40 minutes. So it's, nothing too long. It's not like 3 hours worth of listening to me talking. So definitely check that out. Trying to play with this light here. These blinds. These aren't my blinds. They just came with the place. There we go. That's a little better. So, what questions, if any, do you have about the MBLEx? Let's hear them. I'm here to help. So, the MBLEx 100 questions. You have about 2 hours to finish that test. In my study guide, right here, I have 5 practice tests that kind of mimic the MBLEx as much as possible. There's practice test 1. Got 5 of those. Then I've got 4 smaller practice tests that cover each individual subject. Massage therapy, kinesiology, pathology, and anatomy and physiology. So in total, in this book, there are about 700 practice test questions. So you definitely get your money's worth there. So what questions do you have about the MBLEx? Is there anything you want me to discuss? We can do a little tutoring or whatever while I'm here. Otherwise, I just talk, and if you've watched my live streams before, you know that I can talk and talk and talk and talk. So we just moved into this place. Moving, of course, involves a lot of carrying, lifting. Apparently, I'm not the best. My body mechanics aren't the best when I'm trying to carry heavy things, unless it's in a gym environment. if I'm actually doing exercises. Then I'm mindful of how I'm standing, how I'm using my body. But carrying stuff from one point to another all day, eventually I'm just like, man, I just want to get something from point A to point B. Um, at the end of each day of moving, it took us 3 or 4 days to move everything over and completely clean. And since my wife is pregnant, it was essentially me moving everything and cleaning everything. At the end of each day, I had a really bad headache. And for the first 2 days, I forgot my prescription bottle of ibuprofen that I got with I had tooth work done or something. Yeah, I had an abscessed tooth, and I got a root canal done. So I left that at the other house, and that made for some pretty miserable nights, to say the least. But I've got my medication now, and I'm done moving. I don't have to move anything else. But body mechanics, very important. It's very important to have good body mechanics when you're doing massage, when you are doing stuff like moving, even when you're doing something like walking. It's important to actually know how you're moving your body, how you're holding your body, and how to properly correct your body. Unfortunately, you can't really look at yourself most of the time and try to figure out, like, is one hip higher than the other when I'm walking? Is one shoulder lower than the other while I'm standing? So having somebody actually do a posture analysis or a gait analysis on you is definitely something important that you should probably do. And if you're in school, you should be doing this with your fellow classmates and any clients that come in. You practice, you identify just by looking at someone what might be going on just by the way they walk, the way they sit, the way they stand, the body language that they use. So definitely practice your analysis. Hey, I have the 2017 version and wondering what is in the new book that I would be missing out on. Honestly, I'm not so starting when I got it because a series of unfortunate events in 2017. Well, the 2018 version, I have added some more stuff. I added a few more assignments. Let me see. I added more pictures and more pathological conditions. Like I added Crohn's disease in here and a couple others. Cirrhosis of the liver. I'm not sure if that was in the first one. The way I did the pathology now, I kind of... Whereas in the 2017 version, it was more everything's, you got like just a few paragraphs that kind of sum up everything. Now I have broken it down into basically what it is, what causes it, the symptoms you could see with it, and any treatments that may go into that. So that's kind of the difference in the pathology section. Is like I said, I broke it up into smaller sections like that, and I added more diseases. I added more pictures. Found some pictures of stuff that I didn't have pictures of before, like Raynaud's disease. Here's that photo of Raynaud's disease. You can see that finger a little more pale. Geez, what else? I added assignments for the matching assignments for the medical terminology. I added section about the muscle fibers, sarcomeres, stuff like that, how those are built, and that's important. A lot of these better pictures. Here's more on the digestive system. Like I said, new pictures. And here's one showing all of the arteries and veins in the body right here. The major ones anyway, which wasn't in the 2017 version. What else did I add? Oh, I added a subject on the therapeutic relationship, which you should probably know. So a little bit more on ethics there. What else? I added more pictures. Like here's one. Here's some pictures detailing PNF, stretching, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. It's like just a lot of new stuff. As far as the kinesiology section, it's pretty much the same. There's only so much that you can do with kinesiology section, and I don't want to go into detail on a lot of it, muscles and stuff that you don't need to know. So a lot of that stuff, it's still the same. Different practice tests too in the in the back, and I think it's organized a bit better than the 2017 version. I also added a picture of the dermatomes here. And if you ordered the 2017 version, make sure you download the Kindle version. You should be able to get that for free. The 2018 version I have it set up to where you are supposed to be able to get that together with the paperback version, but for some reason it's not linked together on the Amazon page, so I'm going to have to call someone with Amazon and have them link those together, because there's one listing for the paperback version and another listing for the Kindle version. Those should be together, and you should get the Kindle version free with the paperback version, which is a killer deal. You get 2 books, and you get to see all those pictures in color, which is very, very important, especially with pathology. You get to see the gross stuff, like the decubitus ulcers and stuff like that, and cellulitis. Definitely fun stuff, being able to see that stuff in color as opposed to black and white. Unfortunately, black and white, that's the most cost-effective. People aren't going to buy my book if I price it at $100, unfortunately. And that would be the one thing I'd have to do to make any money if I had a color version, color print version. I'd have to price it at $100 just to make the same amount as I do selling it for, however much it's listed at now, $45.99 I think it is now. So one of the downfalls of that, but make sure you get the Kindle version. Like I said, you should be able to get it for free. You can just download it straight to your phone, and then you got all those colored photos, and then you got studying on the go, which is definitely a plus. So do you have any questions? Anybody? I got 4 people watching. Whole 4 people. 4, like the 4 horsemen. Like Arn Anderson impression. This used to mean something. Nobody will get that. So any questions on the MBLEx? Any material you want me to cover or anything? My laptop battery is now down to 10%. Live streaming takes a toll on my MacBook battery. Jeez Louise. So any questions? Any questions on the test? On any information you want me to cover? Strategies for taking the test? Tips for studying? Anything I can help with. Let's hear it. Otherwise, like I said, I'll just keep talking. Like I said, make sure you subscribe to my podcast. Definitely check that out. Tell all of your fellow students and instructors about my podcast. It's just one more resource that you have to help you study. And it's completely free, and you can do it whenever you want. You can listen to it whenever you want, wherever you want, for the most part. And it's just extra information to help you prepare, help you study for the MBLEx. The test has 100 questions, so all of the full practice tests that I have in my book, they're all 100 questions because I want it to be within reason, as close to the MBLEx as possible. Of course, I don't know exactly what's on the MBLEx. I can't tell you what's on the MBLEx. I can't word the questions exactly like they are on the MBLEx because they're kind of weird, worded weirdly. A lot of them are kind of scenario-based questions where it says, this person does this, and this happens as a result. What should you do when this happens? So I can't. My imagination isn't good enough to cobble together 100 of those. So the MBLEx, again, 100 questions. You have about 2 hours to finish the test. So that should be plenty of time. for you to get through all of those questions. I when I took it, when did I take it? 2013, 2014. One of the one of those. When I took it, I mean, I take my time when I take those tests, and I still had about an hour left. So, I mean, you won't run out of time. It's only 100 questions. If you can't finish 100 questions in 2 hours, maybe you should study a little more, or I don't know, practice your test taking techniques a little bit, and quicken your test taking a bit. So, what do you think? Any other questions on the MBLEx? Any other questions on the massage and bodywork licensing exam? So, my podcast, the first episode, let's talk about my podcast a bit while I wait for another question. But the first episode was kind of an introductory thing where I just kind of explain who I am, how I came to do all of this, my work experiences, some of my work experiences. I've got a lot of work experiences, and some of them not the best experiences you ever have as a massage therapist. But I digress. Second episode was played the audio from my interview with Ken Shamrock. We talked about sports massage and types of massages that he's had throughout his career. Ken Shamrock, former UFC heavyweight champion, former professional wrestler, so definitely someone that is big into massage. He definitely found it worth doing when he was actively participating in sport. Stuck in Jersey, working at Hand and Stone. What is Hand and Stone? What is that? Now, while I wait for your answer. Third episode. What did I talk about? Third episode. Hold on. Oh, man. I completely forgot what I talked about in the third episode of my podcast. Let me pull it up. And I know the second I see it, I'm like, oh, yeah. That's what I talked about, of course. And I listened to every single one of them. Oh, the third episode was the heart, of course. I talked about the heart and the flow of blood through the heart and all the major structures of the heart. So we definitely learned a lot about the heart, kind of broke down the heart into manageable pieces. Definitely important to know the parts of the heart and how blood flows through them. Fourth episode, we talked about kyphosis, lordosis, and scoliosis, the differences between the three of those, and basically what happens with all of those. And the fifth episode talked about blood and all of the blood cells, major blood cells, and plasma, and what blood is used for. And like I say, each one of those, at least the third, fourth, and fifth episodes, question of the week. So we break down a question and stuff. Yes, boy. I want to read. Maybe later, okay? Yeah, not bad. We gotta have lunch first. A franchise massage and facial spa. I've never heard of that. We don't have that out here. I'm in beautiful Reno, Nevada. We don't have Hand and Stone out here. We have Massage Envy, and we have a lot of smaller local spas out here. I've worked for a handful of them in my time. And we have a lot of casino spas, like really big, extravagant spas that, are, they're pretty nice, but not for everybody, of course. So I'll have to look into Hand and Stone. So live in Philly. I know a guy that lives in Philadelphia. Yeah, I don't know. He's all about Philly. Apparently, he's never left Philly. So yeah, that's how much he likes it. So yeah, definitely, if you are working in a place where you're around massage therapists, ask them for their advice when taking that test, because It's not just me you should be listening to. I mean, I like to think I am the person you should listen to the most about this stuff because I've taken it and I've taught people how to prepare for that test for such a long time. Like, I know what I'm doing. I write books on this stuff. But definitely talk to the massage therapist that you're around and try to figure out their experience and get tips from them on what they did during their tests that helped them pass if they took the MBLEx. You know, some places didn't require people to take the MBLEx until recently, very recently. Um, just talk to people, find out what they did when they took their licensing test, if they took a licensing test. Yeah, you know, places like Massage Envy, I mean, they have a place in the world. Unfortunately, a lot of spas won't hire people right out of school because they don't have experience. I mean, that's how it is with lots of jobs. You know, it's like, well, we require 2 years experience for anybody to work here, as you know, whatever position it is. And it's like, well, nobody will hire me if I don't have experience. How am I supposed to get experience if no one will hire me? You know, then unfortunately, massage isn't one of those things where you can intern as right out of school and get, you know, 6 to 12 months of experience and then get hired on. I mean, sometimes that might be a good idea, working for free, but when you've already gone to school and you got, you know, possibly bills to pay and student loans to pay back, might not be the most beneficial thing to work for free. So unfortunately, I mean, Massage Envy and places like that are willing to hire people right out of school. Um, so, you know, it's kind of you just, you just got to live with it for a little bit until you get enough experience. And there's nothing wrong with still applying at other places, even when you're working at Massage Envy. Even if you've only been there a week, you can go try to get a job elsewhere. See if somewhere else will hire you that pays more, that gives you the hours that you want. But I mean, just remember, people. I mean, when I worked at Massage Envy, I worked there for about 6 months. They actually tipped pretty well too. So on top of and how it was back when I worked there, back in 2010. How it was when I worked there is I got paid a little more because of my experience, because I'd been doing it for so long, and you know, I'm just awesome. That's how I work. So I got paid a little more anyway than the, you know, average $15 a massage. And then on top of that, people would generally tip $7 to $10, maybe $20 here and there. So if you factor in the tips, you're actually making, you know, over $20 a massage, and maybe close to $25 a massage, which isn't that bad. Do 4 massages in a day, that's $100. You know, I'll take $100 any day. Just give me 4 people to massage right now, I'll do it. You know, for $100, sure. But you know, so just kind of don't be offended if working at a place like that right out of school is your only option, because for a lot of people that is your only option. And of course, if you don't like it, try looking for a job elsewhere while you're putting in the work at like Massage Envy or places like that. The monthly subscription-based places that typically don't pay as well. Just think of it as what you're sacrificing in pay, you are gaining in experience, and you are learning how to be a better massage therapist because you are actually working with people and you're seeing how a spa environment in most places actually works. So you got to look at the positives too, not just the negatives. So negative, yeah, maybe you're not getting paid as much, but you include tips. It's kind of washes out. Might average $20 to $25 an hour, depending on how many massages you're doing and what the tips are like. Um, and then again, you're getting that experience, and that's the most important thing. What helps you grow as a massage therapist isn't the amount of money you're making. What helps you grow is the experience that you have as a massage therapist, working with people, working with management, figuring out, okay, when this client comes in and they request this specific thing, like what should I do to accommodate them, as opposed to this person who wants something completely different. And it's not just churning out the exact same massage every time you get a new client. I mean, of course, everybody has kind of their set thing. Like this is, if someone just comes in and wants just a regular massage, this is what I do. But if somebody comes in with specific complaints or specific things wrong, how can I alter my massage to benefit the client, which in turn benefits you because it gives you, again, that experience. Say, if someone comes in and they have tight hamstrings from doing like gardening, and they had bad body mechanics while they were doing it, like me, whenever I do gardening, my hamstrings kill me the next 2 days. DOMS usually sets in after like 2 days for me, and it's not fun. So leg day, like the rest of the day after leg day, I'm cool. The next day, I'm like, it's starting to feel a little sore, and then the next day after that, it's like, ugh, I can barely walk. That's just how it works. So you get that experience. This chair is not, and I'm trying. What I keep moving because of these lights on my face. So that's why I keep adjusting myself over here and trying to be comfortable in this chair. It's not the best chair in the world. I've had this chair a long time. So again, you figure out how to work on people with specific problems, and that's the fun thing about working at Massage Envy and places like that. You could build a regular clientele, but chances are you're going to be seeing a lot of different people with a lot of different problems, and figuring out how to work on each one of those problems helps you become a better massage therapist. So if you ultimately don't want to work at a place like Massage Envy or Hand and Stone for your entire career, think of it as a sort of paid internship where, yes, you are making money doing these massages, but again, you are sacrificing a little bit of money in pay to get that experience, to get you to the next level and let you work in a place that you actually want to work. And if you're interested in doing sports massage, I highly recommend either watching my video, the video I did with Ken Shamrock, or listening to the podcast. He explains how to approach athletes to get into doing stuff like sports massage. What else? I don't go talk to athletes, stuff like that. Figure out where you want to work, what you want to do with your career as a massage therapist,